Hi guys, and welcome to this very special eSafety assembly. So normally I'll be doing these assemblies with you in school. We have a chance to kind of talk about staying safe online and electronic safety in general, but instead I'm doing it here on a device, which seems strange really. But there are lots of things that we need to think about. It's strange that I'm going to talk to you now about screen time, while probably be looking at you straight through a screen of a tablet or a phone or possibly even your television. But I just wanted to remind you that although we have a lot more that we're asking you to do now on devices for your learning missions at home, I just want you to think carefully about how much time is too much time. If you've had to spend a little bit of time completing a project on Mathletics or a website that's been set for you by one of your teachers, then why not think about your next activity? Could you make it more active? Can you ensure your brain's working in different ways? Remember that screen time isn't necessarily just bad for us if our eyes are sore or if we're not sleeping too well, but it can also be a barrier to our relationships with others. So have a think. Is this causing you to spend too much time looking at something and not enough time talking to your family or to others around you? If it is, maybe been on a little bit too long. Try and get that balance right. Talk to your parent agents about what they think. How much is too much? And when should you be coming off? Something that I think is really useful to reflect on at the moment. I also want you to have a little think about this, because we're going to be asking you a lot more to speak to your friends and stay in contact. It's really important socially to maintain those brilliant friendships and relationships. And we're going to ask you to use your devices' cameras more often. Something you need to think about though is what are the rules for these chats? Here at school, if you were going to be out at a playtime, out on the playground, or talking to one of your friends in class, we would make sure there's an adult around to make sure that you're safe. To make sure that you're doing things in the right way and that there are some fair, safe rules for you. Now, although you're not likely to get hit by a football or trip over and scrape your knee necessarily while you're on a video chat with your friends, there are still things that could mean that you're not necessarily safe. So it's really important that when you are using these video chat software that you are trying to do it with a grown-up in the room, just so they can keep track of what's happening. It's really important also that you still have those same rules that you would have in a conversation with your friends here at school. You need to take turns, you need to be respectful and kind. Really strange thing about sometimes when you're using a device or looking through a screen is that you may choose to use words that you wouldn't normally use when you were talking to a friend face to face. It's really important that you treat your friends in just the same way, whether you're talking to them through video chat or on a telephone call, or whether you're playing with them when we're back at school, the same rules still apply. Make sure you're being kind, that you're showing respect, and that you're being really honest in all your interactions. Speaking of staying safe, another thing that I wanted to talk to you very briefly about and have a little bit of time to reflect on is your use of games, your playtime. So you might be having more downtime at the moment when you're not working, and you may be using some of that downtime to relax your brain and give your brain a break by going on some games or apps that you really enjoy yourself, and that's absolutely fine. Again, you know how much I love the internet. I think it's a fantastic place. But there are still those ground rules that we need to be following when we are using any device online and making sure that we are staying safe. We've spoken a little bit there about screen time and the balance in your day of how much time you're spending on your screens. But you also need to consider some of those other golden rules we've spoken about before. Make sure that if you are playing online, that a parent is aware of what you're doing, what game you're playing, whereabouts you are when you're doing it. Make sure you're only playing with friends that you know in real life and not don't just get into different teams or squads with people that are friends of friends. Stick to the people that you know best in real life. That's more important now than ever because these are your friends that you're not getting to see as often. So stick to the real friends that you know incredibly well, please. Make sure that when you're online that you are using your kindness, honesty and respect in the same way you would if you're on a video chat with a friend or out in the playground with them. Can you also make sure, please, that any of your chats that you are making sure that parents are having a look through them to make sure that you are making those right choices? Because remember, our grown-ups are here to help guide us in any of our day-to-day life. And that's especially true when we're thinking about being online. They are still the experts, even if you're super duper at your computer. I'm going to finish our little eSafety reminder assembly just with a film that I'd like you to watch. And when you have watched it, I'd like you to talk to a grown-up about what you think the messages, the key messages of the film were. Thank you so much for listening today. Do let me know if you've got any questions or anything at all that crops up. I'm happy to answer anything to do with eSafety or anything at all. Thanks very much.
The Adventures of Kara, Winston and the Smart Crew. Captain Captain Kara, Windswept Winston and crew are still on board Explorer, travelling to the Bay of E in search of treasure. To Cookie's relief, when they land at Hooyar Cove, there's not a crazy penguin in sight. Down in the galley, Kara and Winston are logged onto their favourite gaming site, Seas and Pirates. Although it's only a game, it can feel like real life, especially playing against friends online. Tonight, though, it's just Winston and Kara on their consoles.
Haha, I found the cursed key. That's 200 points for me.
Sniggers Winston.
Yeah,
Says Kara.
I'll soon grab all your gold.
Suddenly, a chat window pops up. It's a clan request from someone called Digsum Bones. Winston frowns at Kara. They've had clan requests before, but usually from friends they know. But Kara wants to know more, and grabbing the keyboard, she types,
What's your skill level?
Digsum Bones types back,
Supreme Blackbeard. Say, you, kids could do well with me. But before you join me, what are your real names?
Winston wonders why their online names aren't good enough. Before they can reply, Digsum Bones writes,
Say, if we're all going to be playing together, why don't you tell me your email addresses? Or better still, tell me where you live.
This gamer is asking a lot of questions. Why do you think he wants the information? Kara's not sure about telling him more about themselves.
This is a challenge for the smart crew,
She whispers, quickly calling their friends on their mobile device.
Hi guys, I love playing online games, but sometimes it's hard to know what you can talk about on the internet.
I know, my friend put up a video of himself and added his phone number and email address. He started getting contacted by strangers. He was really worried.
I think we need to remind everyone about personal information.
Good idea. Your name, age, home address, phone numbers and email address are all personal information.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle, all about you.
Oh, and don't forget about your passwords too. Make sure they are difficult for others to guess. If you keep your personal information to yourself, you'll be much safer on the internet.
When he hears how kids can get loads of hassle from creepy people after giving away too much information online, every strand of Winston's windswept hair stands on end.
This guy sounds a bit fishy. Let's get out of here,
he says. Before closing the chat window, Kara types,
Thanks, but no thanks, Digsum Bones.
From this experience, Kara and Winston have both learned that it's vitally important to keep personal information private. So, S is for safe, which reminds you to keep your personal details safe. And be careful not to give out personal information to people you are chatting with online.